So there's been a lot of discussion recently about ratings in Counter-Strike Global Offensive and how good they are when making an argument based on the skill of a team or a player within CSGO. And there's been a lot of points made, a lot of good ones, a lot of bad ones, and I just wanted to make my own video to really go through and discuss really how good ratings, specifically looking at HLTV ratings, but just ratings in general are from these different websites when looking at player skill and team skill and stuff like that. Because right now, if you look on HLTV, you look on r/global offensive, you look in YouTube comments, Twitch chats, wherever you may get into an argument with somebody about the skill level of a player and their impact on a team and whatever it may be, the go-to statistic that people are going to be linking is going to be the HLTV rating 2.0 of that player that they are arguing about, or they're trying to discredit. The problem with the HLTV 2.0 rating is that it's really, although it does come from HLTV, which is the #1 source for Counter-Strike news and just esports, Counter-Strike esports in general, the problem is we don't exactly know where those numbers come from. Other than HLTV calculates them, we have absolutely no clue how those numbers are actually calculated and what actually goes in. Well, we know what goes into the numbers. When they published the HLTV rating 2.0 announcement, they did not give us a formula. They gave us the list of statistics, like, hey, this is the stats that are going to be going into this big HLTV rating 2.0 number compared to the stats we took for the 1.0 rating, which did have the formula released, by the way, and we'll get into that in a minute. But the problem with the HLTV 2.0 rating in the current state that it is in is that it's really not reliable. And you could say all you want that, oh, it comes from HLTV, so it has to be reliable. But in reality, if you go and you look and you are trying to cite sources and their credibility, as much as we trust as a community HLTV, and as much as we know them and credit them to be able to provide these statistics and these news and all these articles for Counter-Strike Global Offensive, the 2.0 rating is not credible. And that is because we just don't know what goes into it. We do not know the formula. With the 1.0 rating, yes, it could be a good argument that this player is more skilled than this player because we knew how it was calculated. We had a formula. We knew what stat went into where and how much weight it had inside of that 1.0 rating. But when you look at the 2.0 rating, the only thing that we know is what stats go into the rating. It's not the same. It literally cannot be the same formula as the 1.0. It would not work. The 1.0 rating was a very basic formula that took the average of the 3 different categories: the SPR, the KPR, and the RMK, rounds multiple kills, survival rating, and then the just general rating. It took their rating and compared it to the average rating of all players on tracked by HLTV. It took those scores and compared it to the average, and that is how you got your 1.0 rating. That's not the exact formula, obviously, but that formula was published, to say the least. Again, with a 2.0, we don't have a formula. We do not know how much weight these categories have, what goes into these numbers, and that's a problem. That's a massive problem. I understand that HLTV is trying to keep their formula secret so nobody else can use it, but on the other side of things, if you're going to be publishing this number that's supposed to be the best rating system you can get, and it's rating these players and saying this player is better because this player has this number and this player has that number, you have to be able to back that up, and people have to know what they're arguing about when they post these numbers. Because again, when you look at HLTV comments, You look at R Global Offensive. You look at YouTube and Twitch comments. 9 times out of 10, if you're making the argument that a player is better, these people are going to link their guy as a screenshot of an HLTV page of that player with their recent events and the rating in those events. And that is it. That is their argument-ending thesis, right? That is what they're going to link. Period. That's conversation ending to them. And the problem with that is that that stat can mean something. If you're going to have somebody like Code Zero who's going to have a ridiculous close to 2 rating, and then you're going to look at somebody on like XCLG who's going to have like a 0.5 or a 0.6, yes, there's 100% a skill gap, and there's no arguing that. But when you're arguing that a player like Cold, or looking at somebody else on the top team like maybe Nico or Olaf, who's also right up there, they're number 2 team FaZe compared to the number 1 of SK at the current HLTV rankings, it's not a solid argument because there's so many other factors that we know aren't considered into that number and really need to be considered when you're looking at the skill of a player or the skill of a team in general. At the current state that the HLTV ratings are in, it just gives that number. That's it. When you go and you look at that page, you see the recent events, player rating in those events for that player. That's what people link. What they don't go into is they don't go into those events. They don't see who was playing, what teams were in there, what was the format, was it best of 1, best of 3s, was it a Swiss league format? All of these have a lot of heavy weight in how the players are going to perform, how the team's going to be performing. How was the veto process done? Did teams actually veto? Were maps assigned? If they're playing a map where they're not comfortable in, look at does MDL... I think MDL does it the same way the rest of ESEA does, where it's predetermined maps. You play every 2 rounds you switch off maps, and they're predetermined. So you play every map, and it goes through and tries to show the versatility of these teams throughout regular season. And even in the best of 3, I believe the playoffs for MDL are a veto. I could be wrong, but maps are predetermined for a lot of those, and a lot of those matches, if you're playing at MDL, EPL, all those, you're going to be playing a lot of maps, and teams are going to be forced to play maps where they aren't super comfortable on, and they're going to be losing some of these maps. Best of 1s, playing a single map, there's very good chance that there could be an upset, and this is like any other sport. Players are going to have bad matches, and if you look at a best of 1, you say, oh, that player sucks, look how he did here. That's a joke. You can't do that. Everybody has bad maps. Everybody has bad matches. Look at FaZe Clan. They went 0-3 in the previous major. Right now, they're favored to win. They've been winning almost every event that they play coming into this major. They've lost a couple, but they've still been top 3 in every single event that they've played in, with the exception of, I believe, 1. I forget what that event was, not including the major. So it is really a joke to look at these best of 1s and these other formats when you really don't go in and look at the format of the league and who they're playing, what map they're playing, and how those maps are selected. That is a very big factor. Another thing you could look at, if you don't agree with that, I mean, yeah, like, if you're best team in the world, you should be able to perform everywhere, but still, you're not going to have... teams don't practice certain maps as much as they practice the maps that they favor, and they insta-ban maps for a reason, because they just don't play the map. Sometimes they're forced to play, sometimes they're forced into those maps they're not comfortable with, which is going to lower a rating because they're not too familiar with that map. They're not as familiar with the positionings that they play on other maps. Like, say, if you don't play Cobble and you're forced to play Cobble, but you're super comfortable on Mirage, Nuke Inferno, you're not going to play as well on Cobble. Looking into other stats, though, look at the simplest thing you can look at. What role do they play on that team? Do you have an in-game leader? Are we looking at somebody like Kerrigan Glaive, who, although they're great players and they're not maybe the best player on the team, they still have a massive impact with their role because of the way that they're playing. They are directing people. They're saying, all right, you know, Kerrigan's saying, Olaf, Nico, go over there. I need you guys there. Like, a Guardian, cover mid. I need to make sure nobody's pushing up. The rest of you set it for smokes at this time. And to make sure that they can execute these plays at the perfect time, they need to be looking at the minimap. They need to be looking at the chat, no, not the chat. They need to be looking at the utility they have, how much time is left, the score, any information they have on the other players. They need to be able to communicate with all the players at once without interfering with the gameplay of their team. They're not going to be focusing on getting the most kills in the game, and if they're not getting a lot of kills, that is going to be impacting that rating negatively. It does not go in. That rating does not talk about role at all. Even when you're looking at a player who's on the AWP, like a Guardian Kenny S, they're generally going to have more inconsistent ratings. I'm not going to say they're going to be having consistently low ratings, because the players on these AWPs and these sniper positions are not going to be on the snipers the entire time. A lot of times, if they're not playing too hot, they'll throw the op to the secondary, or they'll just stop running it because it just doesn't work for the strats that they're running, and they'll hop on a rifle just because it works better for the strategy that they're running for that play or for that match. So they have inconsistent, because when they're on the AWP, when they're on the Scout, whatever they may be running at in that current round, they're not going to be getting as many kills as somebody sitting on an AK-47, on an M4A4, M4A1S, even a UMP. They're going to be getting more kills just because of the nature that those weapons play and the positioning that those players are going to be in with those snipers. They're going to be playing more passive generally. There are some fantastic aggressive operas. Looking at somebody like, I believe Fallen is one of them, will get in there. He will get aggressive. Alu, I believe, is another one who gets very aggressive with the AWP. But still, the general play for a sniper is sitting back, waiting for the kills to come to you, not finding the kills. When you're on a rifle, however, those kills are generally going to be hunted. You're going to be hunting. You're going to be finding those kills, getting 1-1, maybe 2 or 3 in the round, when the sniper is going to get maybe 1 or 2. Sometimes even 0 kills in the round, depending on how the round plays out, depending on how the rotations of the other team are going to go. They may not have a position to be able to get a shot at anybody, and again, that's going to lower the rating 2.0 of these players because of that. So the 2.0 rating system is really, although I'm sure it does provide decent statistics, it's not something that you can be linking reliably when you're making an argument about a player. And the unfortunate thing is that players get ripped apart because of these 2.0 ratings. I mean, Kerrigan is the biggest one that I can think of recently, where he'll be underperforming, and underperforming, I should say. He's performing well. He's doing his job in his team. His team is winning. But because his rating is a 0.97 at the moment, he's going to be ripped apart because of the way he's portrayed on HLTV, which is a below 1.0 rating, which is ridiculous. He should not be ripped apart because of the way his rating is displayed, because he's an in-game leader. It's simple as that. I mean, that's really to cover it there. It's not going to be a long video. But it's really just to urge that if you are going to be making an argument, you need to be able to back it up with real facts. A 2.0 rating is not a real fact. Although I'm sure, again, it's probably a good rating. It probably has a good formula behind it. We just do not know the formula. And you cannot argue something that you do not know. So please, if you're going to be making arguments, please look at data. Go in, look at the maps, look at the vetoes. Look at who they're playing. Look at how the team performed overall. If that player is in that team and the team's doing well, there's no issue. That's really the big problem with the 2.0 that I really just wanted to address in this video and make a quick little segment on. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you agree with me, if you have your own opinions on these rating systems and how they should be handled when making arguments. Do you think it's a good system having the ratings? What do you guys think? Let me know. Hit that subscribe button, like it, give me your thoughts, and yeah, I'll maybe address them either in a post on my website, GamaniacEsports.com, on Twitter, do whatever, maybe in a future video. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, comment. I'll see you guys next time.